Good afternoon, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I want to talk about gentrifying Yonkers. Has Yonkers been gentrified? The community meeting coming up for District 1. Important, folks, go.
Freddie wins.
Is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I want to talk about gentrifying Yonkers. Go over a recent article by Hamlet Hub discussing the changes in District 1 and how many have made a mass exodus. I've said this. People have been leaving the city of Yonkers, specifically in the northwest, southwest, the west side of Yonkers, right? Gentrifying Yonkers. Has Yonkers been gentrified, or is it being gentrified? I want to read an article that I saw, and I should have read this yesterday on the on Hamlet Hub. Not sure if you're familiar with that. Yonkers run for District 1, and this was back in January of 2023, at the beginning of the year. But I read this, and I thought it was a very interesting article, and I did post it, but I want to talk about it. Sometimes people, don't have the time to read it. Maybe they have the time to listen, because these are important things that are being said here, and I wish I'd saw this sooner. Again, District 1 is on the west side. That's where a lot of the development is happening. That's where a lot of the affordable housing is being built. And so many people are concerned with that they're, congregating all the affordable housing on the west side, an issue that's been a problem for Yonkers for a very long time, right? Going back to the DSEG, when everything was being pushed over on the west side, all the low income and affordable housing. And is that still happening today? But they're also building luxury rentals, luxury developments that are causing people to be priced out of the west side, a place where many grew up. Now they can't afford, as they're seeing rents in the $3,000 and $4,000 range. The average median income there in District 1 is $40,000 a year, yet the luxury apartments are bringing in apartments that would require you to make $150,000 a year at least in order to be able to qualify and afford it. And sure, they are setting aside some for affordable units, but how many are they really, setting aside? Is it enough? There's a demand, as we know, a housing demand, a housing crisis, and it's getting worse. District 1 is a unique sector on the political map of polar opposites. The northern border at Hawley Terrace, merging of Hastings on Hudson, is the Gold Coast of glam glitz high-rise buildings. It is home to well-known sports players and tenants that effortlessly renew their $4,000 per month leases. The southern tier of District 1 at Ludlow Street is a densely packed a cauldron of African Americans and Latinos struggling to survive in the nonstop encroachment process of gentrification. The nonstop process of gentrification. Their days of subsistence level rent are numbered. So they're basically saying that the days of affordable housing in the area is over, as now these developments are coming in and bringing luxury rentals that are way too much for the average resident of District 1 to afford. And remember, District 1 is represented by Shanae Williams, a Black woman, born in Jamaica, moved to America, and seems to have attained the American dream, becoming a council member here in the city of Yonkers. But what has she done for those that look like her, right? This is African-American Black residents in the city of Yonkers that are being pushed out, that are being priced out of their communities. What has she done? And they talk about that in this article, which I thought was great, right? However, what everyone has in common is their current city council representative, Shanae Williams. The second-term city councilwoman has recently declared her candidacy for Westchester County legislator, which she won. She will be challenging longstanding Westchester County legislator Christopher Johnson, which obviously we know that's not happening as he resigned. Her current legislative aide of 6 years, Deanna Robinson, has stepped up to fill Williams' role in an upcoming political contest for the District 1 council seat. Robinson, seen in a video interview on January 19, 2023, details her political views and plans should she win the city council seat, which we know she won. And again, and it's very important that we understand Shanae Williams, along with Deanna Robinson, they are managed by Zahi Jerris and Frank Jerris, Precision Strategies, individuals who have connections to developers. They're neighbors with a gentleman by the name of Louis Jalaj, a developer and real estate investor who had his son appointed to the zoning board recently by our city council. And so why do you think that they approve that? Because many of them are managed by Zahi Jerris and Frank Jerris, who have relationships with these developers. And so Shanae Williams' concern is obviously going to be the developers coming into the area and gentrifying everything. Let me know if you can't hear me for whatever reason. In a district with approximately 35,000 with a median income of $40,000, the task is daunting. As developers continue to build housing for six-figure white-collar professionals, affordable apartments for people of lesser means are slowly fading away. And so I spoke about this. I said this. I said they're pushing people out. Most of them are blacks. African Americans are leaving the city of Yonkers or having to be uprooted and having to leave their communities at a higher rate than any other group here in Yonkers. They're being replaced. There's a mass exodus, as this article says. They're being replaced by white-collar professionals, right? White-collar professionals, mostly white and Latinos that are coming in, right? So I've been talking about this. Although developers have vowed to set aside 10% of their rentals for affordable housing, the competition for those rentals is staggering. Not only are teachers, uniformed service personnel, and blue-collar workers qualified for consideration, but undocumented persons also. So we have a housing crisis here in Westchester, in the city of Yonkers. They're not building enough affordable housing. There's more luxury developments coming in, and they're creating a situation where people are being priced out and people are scrambling for the few affordable housing that are available in these buildings. Because remember, regardless of the fact that we had a housing crisis, regardless of the fact that a majority of the people in the city of Yonkers that require affordable housing are Black and Latino and are located in districts 1, 2, and 3, District 3 Representative Majority Leader Tasha Diaz flip-flopped on the affordable housing ordinance vote, which would have increased that to 20%. And so now developers are putting 10%, sometimes less actually, but is that enough? Is it enough? And now they're dealing with the undocumented individuals who are also now qualifying for affordable housing. That's making the struggle to find housing that's affordable even more difficult. Undocumented persons are eligible for affordable housing and low-income housing if the head of household is a U.S. citizen. The increase in migrants seeking a better life in the area increases the demand and shortens the supply. The affordable housing lottery is open to them if they have a birth certificate, passport, and/or social security number. Let me know if you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, just say, yeah, I can hear you. So we've seen migrants come into the city of Yonkers. They have to find housing for them. They're not going to send them back, right? Doesn't seem that that's what they're going to be doing. How many more migrants will we see come into Yonkers? And I'm not anti-migrant. I'm just talking about the increase in population, the increase in individuals who will need affordable housing. That's what I'm referring to. That will make the demand higher, and more impossible for people of Yonkers to find affordable housing, resulting in more people leaving the city of Yonkers. The lack of housing has increased the homeless population, particularly in District 1, Shanae Williams district. Now she's going up to the county. She says homelessness is a county problem, all right? As a county legislator, will you be doing something now about this? You know the district very well. She was the councilwoman there. She understands the homelessness problem. She will blame Christopher Johnson and others at the county. Will Shanae Williams now make something happen? Or to criticizing, here's your opportunity to show what you would do now to address the homeless problem here in the city of Yonkers, since you kept pushing it off to the county when you were a council person. Let's see what she will do. We know that there is a huge homeless population in the city of Yonkers, most of which is concentrated in the first district, said Councilwoman Williams, but there are many unanswered questions. Well, can you get those answers? And until we can openly ask and address those questions, we cannot move forward. What does that mean? What does that mean? What questions are you referring to? In her interview, Robinson, and they're referring to Deanna Robinson, is quite clear in regards to the placement of a homeless shelter in an area that constituents might object to, citing it as hypocrisy. So she's saying that, that people would complain about it. People have an issue with it, right? The city of Yonkers sheltered homeless population accounts for 43.3% of all homeless families in Westchester County. Wow. So the city of Yonkers sheltered homeless population accounts for 43.3% of all homeless families in Westchester County. Approximately 800 men, women, and children form the homeless population of Yonkers, and space is limited. Banks have closed ATM access after dark due to homeless people sleeping in the vestibules. In 2020, the Yonkers City Council passed a ban on panhandling to curb beggars for harassing pedestrians, but that hasn't curbed any panhandling. I see it everywhere. In fact, it's increased. In fact, the guy's always by the bank over there by the ATM that they closed, making it difficult for people to go into use the ATM after a certain time. It's very frustrating, especially when that's the only bank that in the area. You have to go far, right? So yeah, they found someone actually dead at the Wells Fargo vestibule in Getty Square. Someone, don't know if they died of an overdose or what was the cause, but when employees came in the next morning, the person was dead there. So ever since, they've been locking it up when they closed to keep people from sleeping in there, right? So Shanae Williams obviously is aware of this problem. What has she done? They've pushed it off to the county, but the fact that 43.3% of the homeless population of Westchester County is located here in Yonkers would make me as a council person do something about it. Whether it's the county's problem or not, it's Yonkers, the city that I represent, the district that I represent, and we have this huge problem. So I need to push the county in the same way that I pushed the county to get that money, $10-15 million, in order to build the park on the river. If you guys can get money for that, why can't you push the county to do something for homelessness? I mean, you guys get what you want from the county when it serves your benefit. So Shanae, you will be up at the county now. Let's see what you're going to do. Let's see what she will do for all that talking. Now let's talk about the crime statistics in District 1. Let's talk about crime. There are 30 registered sex offenders in District 1. 30 registered sex offender. Many of those men are homeless. Although a shelter is needed, the proper placement is crucial. The southern border of Yonkers at West 263rd Street and Broadway's battling the inevitable build of a homeless shelter. The prostration, I can't even see, of Riverdale residents and the trepidation of the Yonkers Police Department has resulted in recent withdrawals of the designated operator for the project. NYC officials are pondering the next move. So they're looking to build a shelter, I guess, on the border of Yonkers and the Bronx. I'll move on. Ensuring the safety of constituents is not only the job of the city council person, but the job of the Yonkers Police Department. And they have been busy in District 1. Statistics for 2022 indicate the following. There was 1 murder in District 1. I thought there was more. There were 12 rapes in District 1, 55 robberies, 148 felony assaults in District 1, 45 burglaries, 214 larcenies, and 47 stolen vehicles. The numbers are not overwhelming, but they are sufficient to cause alarm among the Yonkers riverfront community. This is where they bring in all the luxury developments. And that's what a lot of people say when they come here to Yonkers from outside and they move there. They don't like it. They don't like the area. They don't have nowhere to go. There's a lot of homelessness, crime, drug abuse. There's just, it's not, a place that they really end up wanting to really be. And that's why you have a revolving door over there at the waterfront apartments. In the absence of any assistance from their District 1 city councilwoman, there is a mass exodus from 23 Water Grant Street. The property is located in proximity to the apex, but with fewer apartments. There are 39 units. 30% of the units are presently for sale. Wow. So that building was the only owner-occupied building, right? That was the only building that they were condos, right? Or they were for sale. You had to buy them. They weren't for rent. The only building. Many of the residents there were complaining. Many have moved into the city of Yonkers, buying an apartment there, within the past 20 years or so. And they've seen the changes and they didn't like it. They weren't expecting these changes. In fact, they were told it wasn't going to be this much, this fast. And they didn't like the fact that all of the developments going up were all rentals. And they felt that they should be more condos. They want to see more owners because they believe that they take more ownership in their area, their community. They're not just going to be in and out, right? They're going to be more invested. And that wasn't happening. So they were very upset. And instead of battling the city of Yonkers and coming out to city hall meetings, because we know that they don't listen, they don't care. Again, they have their agenda. They don't care what you have to say and how much you oppose something. They're going to move forward anyway. So instead of battling that, fighting that fight, they're deciding to sell. So many of those units are up for sale. Wow, I didn't know that. That's something I just learned myself right there. Wow. Again, that's that 23 Water Grant Street. It's the building that's located in front of where they're going to build the Teutonia. They were also upset about the Teutonia being built there because it was going to block their views. Right. So, it's sad that, longtime residents are having to be displaced or having to, decide they have to leave because either they can't afford it or they don't like the changes that are happening in the area. And their councilwoman, Shanae Williams, has been largely absent. But she's not going to say nothing. She's not going to go against her campaign donors. No way. 30% of the units are for sale. The Riverview, in exchange for the summer mayhem, vandalism, drugs, and loud music, has lost its luster. So they got tired of it, and I understand that. Many people have complained. There's a lot of complaints about the Apex and Avalon and the music and the people going there, people who don't live there taking advantage of the amenities, the vandalism, the crime, the homelessness, the garbage, people smoking weed and whatever else, drugs there. It's not luxury, really. It's not upscale. It's not affluent. It's an attempt to be luxury and affluent. They're selling it that way, but it's not. And many people are moving out. People move in, then they move out. So what really, sustainable change that's going to benefit the city of Yonkers is happening there? Again, I believe these apartments are really being built for the movie studio people, but I don't know if they'll last. They haven't been built that well. And by that time, people may have destroyed them. This matters because the projected number of waterfront rental units is closing in on 4,000, and they're not even done. 4,000 developments, such as Avalon, are expanding rapidly in the district of 35,000 people. The average voter participation in the city council election is 16,000. 4,000 people are 25% of that voter base. They hold the ability to tip the balance of power. Both Williams and Robinson are pro bail reform. However, in a city where the crime statistic can easily tip into the red zone, Robinson owes an explanation of her position. Where Robinson lacks clarification of her position on bail reform, she is clear in regards to school funding. She reiterates the politician's mantra of more school funding, after school programs, and tutoring. The city of Yonkers has multiple after-school programs for students. They vary from ESL to online tutoring. The Police Athletic League and the Yonkers Police Department are rich in resources that aid the Yonkers youth. More funding is always necessary for Yonkers School due to the city's increase in its population. Yet scrutinizing wasteful spending in the school system is lacking. Right? They don't like that. They don't like when you do that. You get in trouble for doing that. If you criticize wasteful spending in any department, whether it's the public schools, DPW, police department, Yonkers Inspector General's office, any department, you become a target. They always talk about needing more money. But when you're paying people these ridiculous salaries, people are getting this overtime, there's so much wasteful spending going on and no one's curbing it. That's not going to help. And they can't, they always blame the state. You can't always just blame the state. The state made it very clear. We give Yonkers enough money. You guys need to manage it better. That's been the issue. If you look at the comptroller's reports for the past few years, right? That's the problem. It's the money management. As of 2018, the Yonkers public school system offers free lunch to all students, regardless of income. The federal government is subsidizing the school meals. On the other hand, the benefits could be in jeopardy due to parents being non-compliant. It talks about free meals and people on money. Well, we're in a hard, time now, economic times now. People are losing their jobs. There are no jobs being brought to the city of Yonkers, none that are paying a living wage. Cost of living is going up. The rents are going up. Food costs are going up. What do you expect? In 2017, the Yonkers public school system lost $800,000 in revenue due to unpaid lunch bills. Really? That much? That much? Dividends are not abundant with city council jobs. Elected city council members earn $48,000 a year, yet details are in the benefits. Yes, the details are in the benefits. Absolutely. And there's a community meeting going on, District 1. November 21st, Shanae Williams will be there at the Riverfront Library. Let's discuss this gentrification. Let's discuss that. But I want to show you what they mean by the benefits, or the details are in the benefits. What else money do they make, right? So they say that as a city council member, you make $48,000 a year. Well, I'm not sure exactly how much Shanae Williams is making at this time. I believe it to be more than $48,000 a year, but they are also, given these perks. Shanae Williams is a board member of Yonkers Larkin Garage, Inc., a nonprofit that was created to build a parking garage in the downtown area using federal funding, and it's basically become like this business. So it generates, revenue from people parking in there, over $500,000. And they're people on the board, and they get paid to be on these boards. And one of them is Shanae Williams. She's making $53,000 here, and says another $12,900 for other. So she's making $65,000 in addition to her city council salary. These are financial incentives that are not really made public, but they should be, because they give us an idea on what motivates them to remain in office at all cost. Jim Kavanaugh, who was recently spoken about in the Yonkers Ledger as he became the new acting commissioner of the planning and development, is earning $45,000, and his wife, the head of municipal housing authority and the chair of the zoning board of appeals, is making $184,000 just for sitting on this board. I hear that Wilson Kimball makes $500,000 a year as an employee here, work in the city of Yonkers. So there's a lot of incentives that we don't know about that we should. So it's not just the 48,000. And yes, the details are in the benefits. Robinson operates, Deanna Robinson, a public relations firm. The city council position leads itself to a roster of potential clients. The Trump presidency is a prime example. I don't know what that means. And let's not forget the allure of Lionsgate Studios, aka Hollywood on the Hudson. Although Lionsgate has no jobs, it offers lots of photo ops with city council persons who promise those jobs to residents. The jobs of the city council person in Yonkers District 1 is an important one in this election, which has already passed. I wish I spoke about this prior. It requires more than vague promises with no plans, which is what we hear from all of them time and time again. It requires experience and the ability to navigate the headwinds of an increasing homeless population and the demands of parking, policing, and displacement due to the expansion of waterfront rental units. The growing pains of progress require a steady hand. Without it, the music will blast and the people will leave. And so I thought that was an important article. I should have read it earlier on, but I still wanted to read it because it's important to know what's been happening in District 1, what was done there. Shanae Williams is now going to be a county legislator representing that area still as a legislator, District 16. And so the people who live there will still be dealing with her, in one way or another, one capacity or another. This is what you guys voted for in District 16 for District 16 county legislator. Who are the people that voted for Shanae? You can't be happy with the progress that has occurred in District 1 under her leadership there, under her representation. So why would you vote for her to become the new county legislator for District 16? Like, what is the thought process of those who voted for her? Right? So we have to stay on top of them, and it's time to, hold them accountable. Don't forget tonight's Yonkers City Council meeting. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. If you want to read that article, it's on the page. Check it out. Take care. Don't forget, there's a community meeting, District 1. It's important to attend these things. So I'll leave you with that.
Fatality.
Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
And another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken. So thank you.
Freddie wins. Fatality. Game over.
No!